Paul Brown said to me, son, act like you've been there before. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I just barely got on the field. I hadn't been there before. So
I'm glad to be part of that trend. You know, sun's out, guns out.
How about Isaac Curtis on one side, Charlie Joyner on the other side? A lot of quarterbacks were very envious that I had those two weapons to throw to. But
now, wait a minute. Is it fair that Pat McInally is still the sexiest guy on our team? Is that?
You got me there. You got me good.
Donald, how you gonna be in that video not represent with a chain and your tango, man? I got mine on. I'm ready to go.
Oh, that's great. That's priceless.
There are two guys that I think it's a travesty that are not in that Hall of Fame.
Ken Riley and Ken Anderson. Yeah, sure.
Let's put the backdrop on, Jamie. See if Marissa's okay with it.
Yeah, I got her backdrop. Starting the Canadian fan club up here for you.
That is so funny.
My last touchdown, and that's what Joe Burrow's going to end up like if they don't start protecting his ass. It's going to be the next David Klingler. David Klingler stuff.
There's no Spanish speaking people here, very few. So we, fast forward, we go to the Super Bowl in Miami, and the word was the Bengals have two big Mexican offensive linemen. They don't know how to speak Spanish. So I got down there and started doing these interviews in Spanish, and they're like, "Wait, we heard you don't speak Spanish."
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? But I got on the plane one day in an all red Suge Knight suit. And boy, Joe Walters and the linemen, they destroyed me. I thought for sure I was so clean. I had some gaiters on, all red suit on. I was Suge Knight. They roasted me.
The head coach was the pain in the butt. The Jerry Glenn, he thought he was. If you didn't know who he was, he walked out there like he owned his state. And I always say, if I could get a chance to hit him on the sideline, I would.
I'm tackling your ass, Pete. I'm shoestring low on you.
But I got to tell you, you have been stepped on, son. You would have had cleats everywhere.
Well, I'm proud to be a Bengal. Yes, I'm proud to be a Bengal. Always been. I got nothing from you guys.
Welcome, everybody, to the second half of the season edition of Talking Football with Bengals Jam and Friends, and welcome everybody watching and viewing all across all the platforms of social media, guys. Great night tonight, guys. We have the Bengal legend here, Geoff Hobson, getting ready to come on with us in a few minutes. We have some very big news about the tailgates in Las Vegas this week, and we're going to watch the Ohio State and UC game at Saturday in Vegas. And we got a Raiders fan, Scar from Las Vegas, going to be coming on talking about the Raiders a little bit. And we also have our buddy Rick Mason from the Bengal Trailer. We're combining our tailgates this weekend up near Raiders Nation here. So we got a lot of stuff going on tonight, guys. So good stuff.
So let's get right into it. We want to thank Geoff for joining us. He's in the waiting room. Let's jump in with both feet. Geoff, welcome to Bengal Gyms as we kick off the second half of the season.
Guys, thanks for having me on. Wouldn't want to get the second half going any other way.
Now, we really brought you on. And you see I got my Syracuse orange shirt on. The basketball team's 2-0. The football team's 1 win away from being bowl eligible. That's what we brought you on here to talk about. Right, Jimmy?
Geoff, don't listen to him. But I know you two can go at it all night about Syracuse.
No, just kidding, Geoff. We appreciate you joining us.
No, thanks, James. No, you probably are more in tune to the orange sports scene than I am at this point. I think the last time I was in on the basketball team was when Jim Boeheim charmed my mother at a practice when I said, Jim, I'd like to introduce you to your biggest fan in Massachusetts. And he said, that's strange. Your son's my biggest critic. and she said, oh, we don't listen to him. And he charmed her for 5 minutes and can still do no wrong in the eyes of my mother.
There you go. Well, it's all good in Syracuse. We have Jimmy's 2 sons playing, and 2-0 and head to Atlantis next week. So all good. So again, thank you for joining us. Hope all is well, and let's kick off. If we look at the start of the 2021 season, I think Bengals fans have to be happy. Maybe a little frustrated with the last 2 weeks, but AFC North is wide open. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'd all take right. I think back in May, we'd all take a win in Pittsburgh and a win in Baltimore, and be 5-4. You know, I mean, it never works out like you tear your hair out over Green Bay, you tear your hair out over the Jets, but all in all, if you're playing seven AFC teams, you basically can call your own shot. You don't have to. You don't have to hope the Steelers lose 3 in a row. You don't have to hope that Lamar Jackson, misses a game or two. You beat the Raiders. You beat the Broncos. You beat you sweep the Steelers. Do the things that you were supposed to do at the beginning of the season, and it should turn out okay.
If we look at last week there, certainly the boys were off resting, and aside from Lions a missed field goal away from winning, it was a pretty darn good off week.
I mean, when the other 3 teams in the division don't win, it's just set up for you. I mean, I think you got to remember too. I think 5 of these games are at home. Baltimore and Pittsburgh are at home. So, I mean, they set about as well. I mean, as it can for them. I know they, they're going against defenses too that I think kind of right down their alley. They struggle a little bit with not a little bit, but they struggle with those big defensive fronts. Those fronts with the big tackles like the Jets have, like Cleveland has, and now I think they're going to be able to breathe a little bit. So I expect them to get Mixon heavily involved.
Another big aspect of the second half of the year, obviously we go on the road this week to Vegas, and I was trying to plan ahead for the month of December. 3 home games in a row. That's got to play a big role here as we look at the second half.
Yeah, James. I mean, they haven't exactly been the 13 Bengals, the team that went undefeated at home. They got beat by Green Bay and Cleveland at home, but I think and it's I think a big question in this team, in this offense, Zach is built. Can they play in December? And I think that I think he thinks they can with Mixon, but I think they still have to prove it, and they rely a lot on the quarterback and throwing the ball, and I think they are versatile enough. I think they showed that versatility enough in the wins in Pittsburgh and the wins in Baltimore that they can beat you. That they can run the ball when they have to. I mean, they obviously have to get their short yardage shored up, but I think to me, the 3 games at home, November 28th, December 5th, December 12th, might not break 40 degrees. I don't know if Joe Burrow has played a game. He has not played a professional game with a glove on. I think the last time he probably used a glove was in the state championship game with Athens in 2014. So I'm interested to see this offense in December.
That's a good point, Jeff.
Tom, go ahead.
Butch, looking at going back to start with, what players stood out to you the first half of the year that you really weren't expecting to excel to help us get to the point where we are, where we're right in the fight, basically equal with everybody else in the division?
Yeah, well, Tom, I guess I'd have to say, since I was a Penny Sewell guy, I guess I'd have to say Chase. Now, I wasn't down on Chase. I just liked, I like the left tackle and the wide receiver. But as we talked about, now I see why they took the wide receiver, who is not only the best receiver in the country, but he also had chemistry with a pretty good quarterback. And I think that's a big reason why he had Jamar Chase had the best 7 games of anybody to start in league history. And that's really stood out because, I mean, he actually won games. I mean, he you'd have to say what he did what he did at the end of the Pittsburgh game, what he did at the end of the half in Pittsburgh, got them over the hump, and he crushed the Ravens, so pretty good in the division, So, yeah, Chase stands out, and I think, I think defensively, I think all those free agents, that free agent class, I know they're not rookies, but they're first-year Bengals, they're first-look Bengals. I mean, if there's a more productive free agent class in the league, I'd like to see it. Between Hendrickson and Awuzie and Larry Ogunjobi, I mean, and Mike Hilton in the slot. I mean, those guys, they got paid and they're playing as advertised. I mean, the last 2 weeks, of course, accepted, but the first 7 weeks did happen, and they were a top 10 defense, and those new guys were reasonable.
Flipping that, going into the second half of the year, these last 8 games, what players on each side of the ball do you think need to step up so we can get into the playoffs? And I know everybody wants to win the division. So do I. I want those home playoff games, but to me, it's just get in, get hot, and get to the Super Bowl. Who needs to step up?
All 5 offensive linemen and Joe Mixon, because I'm not going to lie. People are sick of hearing me saying it, about how important the run game is. But with 8 games left, that's I think a big. It's going to be a big measurement for how this team does. I mean, all you have to do is just sit in your couch, which I was thankfully able to do on Sunday. And I saw New England. And New England's playing they're playing in a absolutely must-have game with Cleveland. And I'm not sure if it was 14-7 or 7-7 at the time, but they were backed up on their half-yard line, and they handed the ball off 5 straight times. And they got Mac Jones a 3rd and 4, and he converted, and they were off on a 99.5-yard drive that basically put that thing away, just like the Cleveland corners, Denzel Ward's 99-yarder against Burrow the week before took them out of the game as far as the tone setter goes. That 99.5-yard drive took Cleveland out of the game for the tone setter in that game. So I just can't tell you how important running the ball is going to be, not only because of the weather, but to keep Burrow clean and to keep this offense years. So I just think it's all 5 offensive linemen and Joe Mixon. It's their time.
Yep. Geoff, it's interesting. I think we had you on a show earlier this year, and you call a little heat on social media because you doubled down on that defense, man, talking about how important it was to focus on getting filling more holes in that defense than some of the holes we thought we had on that offensive line. Talk about that defensive line, guys. Ogunjobi and Reeder, these guys are difference makers up front, man.
Yeah, I think they're legit, and I think they take as much heat off Burrow as an $80 million guard. If Burrow doesn't have to, if Burrow doesn't have to answer on every drive, if he doesn't have to answer after, as we saw, we had some bad flashbacks in the second half in New York and some stretches of the Cleveland game. That was basically wrapped up the Zach Taylor era. That's what the Zach Taylor era had been up until this year in 2019 and 2020. Was the defense always had the offense on its heels? And you're exactly right, Jimmy. Their front line is the difference. That's the difference between this year and the last couple. I mean, Ogunjobi and Reeder. I mean, they haven't had 2 guys like that. Since you guys could probably refresh my memory on that. I don't have a memory of it. Tom can talk about it. I mean, there was Geno, but Geno didn't have a DJ Reeder next to him.
Right.
Right. Crumry didn't have a
nose tackle.
Crumry was both, I guess, but Crumry didn't have an Ogunjobi next to him.
Yeah,
So I mean,
we're probably going back to when Paul Brown was the head coach before they had a defensive line like that.
That's exactly right. Those I remember they won a game in Houston, and I remember just going back looking at the clips in the 70s. They won a game, and you're exactly right. And the guys were saying after the game, hey, they talked to I can't remember the names of the 2 tackles now, but about Paul had just acquired them, and you're probably right. I mean, and I think that Awuzie and Hilton are I mean, Eli Apple's getting a lot of heat, but if as a whole you look at the 9 games, Awuzie is playing. I think he's playing as well as maybe a Leon Hall did.
Yeah. You might be thinking of Bob Brown and Multi Moore.
There you go. That's the two. That's exactly the two. That's exactly
I was going to go with the Webb, Tom. I was wrong.
That's
exactly the Webb had trouble with Earl Campbell.
Yeah, everybody had trouble with Earl. So Jeff, it's as everybody's watching now, thanks for being with us, Jeff. As you're watching right now, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, any questions you have for Jeff, type them in there. We'll try to get to some of those questions before Jeff goes off air with us. But Jeff, I mean, I think for every NFL team, the Bengals have been devastated over the years with some not just regular injuries, but like not just injuries to starters, but depth. They've been just devastated over the years. Knock on wood, right now, they've kind of avoided the injury plague exactly. I mean, you got Akeem Davis who's going down, which I think does hurt, man, because Akeem was playing some good football, bud. But talk about Akeem and the linebacking core I thought was the place where he had the least amount of depth at. Talk about that injury to Akeem.
Very astute observation right there. 2 astute observations. Davis Gaither was playing the most snaps he'd ever had and was starting to really, come into his own. And Darren Simmons just talked about exactly what you said, Jimmy. They they got 5 linebackers. Going to this 3-4 hybrid, they play a lot of 5-man defensive fronts and a lot of obviously nickel and dime in the back end, and all of a sudden you get 5 linebackers, and they lost Jordan Evans early on, their most experienced linebacker, and now you put Davis Gaither, who might be their fastest linebacker. He's shelved now. So you're right. So they're thin there. And what do they do? Do they and they lose a safety too. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how they use a guy like Trey Flowers, who came in, who's got some safety to him. He has a lot of safety in his background. Started 40 games at corner for Seattle. Does he kind of emerge in a Sean Williams-ish type role? Kind of a small linebacker. It's an interesting question. I mean, I think it's Davis. I think Davis Gaither's a tough loss because not only because of his speed, but what he meant on special teams. So, they've rated the waiver wire, but you know how that goes. They're trying to get a guy up and going.
Right.
Who knows the scheme? But yeah, it's but I guess knock on wood, it's not like they lost. Think back to the last couple of years who they've lost.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you got to be able to. That said, you got to be able to overcome the loss of a reserve linebacker.
Right.
Let's go off the I word and go on back to what you alluded to earlier, Jeff, and that was the running game. Mike has a question, and we saw a glimpse of Chris Evans and what he could do in the Detroit game. Some other little sprinkles here and there. Any chance we see more of him in the second half of the year?
It's a great question, Mike, and yeah, I think so. I think so. I think and the great thing about being on the couch is you could watch some of these other games, and Evans kind of gives you what some of these other backs seem to give you. The back in New England, is an interesting guy. I think Evans can do some of that. I would love to see Evans play more because he's really a factor in the pass game. Too, I think that's really where he really helps them. He's almost like another wide receiver, I mean, I think he'll definitely get more snaps. How many I don't know, but I think he's definitely earned. He didn't play. He didn't play very much against Cleveland, but I think that was a little bit of that was the they're worried about protecting Burrow against the blitz, blitz pickup, And so I think that's why they're worried about putting a rookie in there. But I mean, they've been just kind of struggling with that anyway with their veterans, and mixing right. They haven't been altogether immaculate. So I think they try to get Evans on the field.
Here's another question that we have before the bye here. We saw a change at right guard. We saw Akeem Denijai come back from the early season injury. Do you expect a bigger role for him in the second half and maybe solidifying that right guard position? And thank you, Andrew, for the question.
Yeah, Andrew, good question. I think this. And I said this last week. I think that move says more about Adeniji than it does Carmen. I think Adeniji was they had targeted him as being an opening day guard. I think in the spring, and I think it was pretty clear when they went to him just last week against Cleveland after being only healthy for 2 weeks that's what they're playing. That seemed to me to confirm what their plans were. They like this guy a lot. It's not that they don't like Carmen, and Carmen has had his struggles. He's also played very well. I mean, you can put that Baltimore tape on, and that's
right.
That's a hell of a game. This kid's going to be a good player, but I think the energy they believe I think is just a little bit more ahead of him, and he's ahead of him because he's a year older, and he had 5 starts last year.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's had another year to make that the same conversion that Jackson is doing from college tackle to guard. Adeniji did it last year. So yeah, I mean, of course he's a little ahead of him, but I don't think it's putting Jackson on the junk pile. He's going to be a starter for them, and whether it's going to be at right guard, left guard, right tackle, I don't know. He's going to be a starter, and so is Adeniji.
That's interesting. Here's another one from a friend of the show here, and somebody you know really well, right? So Geoff, he's asking about the Jesse Bates and his recent comments about needing to play better.
My main man, Juan. It's good to talk to him a few months ago.
Yeah,
you put him on the horn with me.
I did.
That's great. It's that great visit to Canton. Yeah, I mean, you won't find, like I wrote, you're not going to find many NFL players being as honest as Jesse was. Not only for something that he needs to play better, but why he needs to play better and why he hasn't been playing as well. I think he let the contract, he indicated that he had let the contract get to him. And, I salute him for being honest, and, he's an A1 guy, let's face it. And I think he'll find a way. I mean, I don't think he's playing as bad as Pro Football Focus has him. I mean, Pro Football Focus has him playing. I think I'm rated ahead of him in Pro Football Focus, and I have the movement skills of a geranium. So I think PFF is being a little harsh on our guy Bates. He's not playing like the number one guy last year, but I think he's playing better than the charts would say. But yeah, he's got to play better. But I mean, I think he will. And but the fact that he knows why and why he was putting pressure, he had a great line where he said, I mean, this guy's 24 years old, but I mean, this guy, he sounds like he's already lived 3 lives. He's a smart guy, and he really knows what's going on. But he said, like, he was proving I think he was trying to prove the wrong things to the wrong people when he should be proving the right things to the right people, which his family, his teammates, his coaches. I thought it was a terrific. I thought it was a terrific interview there for a guy to go Zoom and tell the world that.
Awesome.
Geoff, beginning of the season, one of the things when we would talk about the Bengals here was I said the main thing I wanted to see is I wanted to see the franchise pointed in the right direction. And even, 5-4, we've had some games we would like to have back. I think that's there. But the one thing that mirrors that, and the guy that can take us there, is number 9. How do you see him doing? And I think I'm fine with him. Naturally, we all gnash our teeth with the interceptions. But other than that, I do get a little frustrated watching him get hit all the time, along with scared. But also encourage him to slide a little more. But other than that, I think he's fine, and I think he's everything we want him and need him to be looking into the future. How do you think the second half of the year is going to look to him? And, I know he's also his biggest critic.
Tom, I couldn't agree with you more. Took the words right out of my mouth, and I think he's really looking forward to this second half because that's what he really missed about last year was he didn't get a second shot at Pittsburgh. He didn't get a second shot at Baltimore. Now he's got a second shot of he's playing the second half of the schedule, and I think he's he's a killer. You know what I mean? He's our Aaron Rodgers. You know, I think now he's not there yet. Obviously, I think he will be that. I mean, you know, I think I get frustrated too by I mean, I'm not sure. Up 5 points with the lead in the ball, 5 minutes left. I'm not sure you're throwing a screen on first down. And I'm not sure you're throwing that type of screen on first down, which takes so much time and everything like that. But that, I don't know if that was called or if he checked to it, but he'll also learn too. If that's the call, he'll learn maybe not to make such a blind throw. I mean, just stuff like that, minute stuff like that. But I mean, against Jacksonville, against Baltimore, against Pittsburgh, even in the Jets game that they lost right before the pick, I mean, he makes two hellacious third down throws against the Jets, both to Boyd. I mean, that 3rd and 4 touchdown pass to him to put the dagger in and put him up 11. That's as big league as you get. So I think we see more of that. I think this guy just gets better, and I know we go in, we go into the bye running with Denzel Ward down the sideline. That's how we went running into the bye. But we got to sit back and take a look that he's thrown more touchdown passes than any Bengal in his first 19 games, other than Jeff Blake. He's thrown more touchdown passes in his first 19 games, and guys like Manning and Rodgers and some big time guys. He's got the 5th best completion percentage of guys who have started in the first 19 games. I mean, I know those are just numbers. I get it, but they're his numbers, and he's ours. And they should be savored.
Yep. Well, Jeff, hey, I got a couple more things before we let you go. It is we're very much appreciated you taking time today.
Thank you. I'm very appreciative to you guys to have me on. I believe me.
So what's our magic number for the playoffs right now? We're 5-4. What's our magic number to make the playoffs, Jeff? Give us a number.
I think 10. If we're 5 now, right?
Five wins.
I think 10. I think you got to go 5-3, don't you?
That's what we were saying before the show started. We agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think anybody who looked at this again in May, think of yourself looking at the schedule, and I think you could see 10 wins there. I didn't think that was out of It's just the thing is, I think you thought it was 10 wins. Looking at you beat the Bears, you beat the Jets, you beat Cleveland at home. So it came out a little bit screwy, but it still came out. It still comes out. You got a shot at 10 wins. You got to beat Denver. You've got to split with Cleveland. You've got to. I guess Vegas is probably what is a toss up in May is probably a toss up now too, right? But you've got to beat. I think people, if we beat Pittsburgh at home last year, should beat them at home this year. I think that's seen as one that you really have to have. And then, you got, the games that the games that it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to the last 3. You're going to have to win one of those 2. You're going to have to split with Baltimore and Kansas City, and you're going to have to win in Cleveland. I mean, that's to me the same what it's going to come down to. Right. That's a tough nut. Lamar Jackson and Patrick Holmes, you got to beat one of them.
Yeah, it would be nice to beat both of them, but one would have to be one of them.
Correct.
All right, so Jeff, last question, put you on the spot. I have my Bible with me. This is my Bengals Bible.
Believe me, I didn't know your mother would let you read stuff like that.
You know what? I usually have these pop-up books with pictures and stuff, but these are big words that even I can read.
That's right.
But on this date in Bengals history, November 17th, is that 17th?
16th.
16th. Let me flip. I was already on the next page. See, I'm reading ahead.
I think I know this.
November 16th, 2003. I think rookie head coach Marvin Lewis. What happened on this date in Bengals history?
So Chad Johnson guaranteed it. Beat the undefeated Chiefs, and it's going to be 18 years later. We have to do it. We have to do it again. Although Mahomes is a little bit better than Was it Trent Green? I think.
Yeah, it was 24-19. What a great day up in Cincinnati at Paul Brown Stadium. It was just a wonderful.
Peter Warwick took over the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah. It was crazy. But Geoff, man, we appreciate it. Thanks again. And I love this damn book.
Thank you guys.
Every day I read this thing. So
I like Augie's right. Augie's right. Peter Warwick, he dropped back the punt and he told the guy, I don't know who he told, but he said, I'm going to seal it with a kiss. Hey, Tommy, great work on that, on those tackles. That's exactly right. That was that's as good as Pro Football Reference, right, James?
Yeah, that's why we keep him around, pay him the big bucks, Geoff.
Keep Boeheim on his toes, will you, James?
I will. I'll keep you in the loop, Geoff, and us Syracuse fans will stick together.
Tell him it's not against the law to call a timeout, everyone.
Hey, by the way, Geoff,
and to play more than 7 players too. Jeez,
that'd be nice.
Hey, Geoff,
don't the ball to Derek Coleman.
That last 40 seconds, the exchange between you and James, our ratings went down 72%.
I apologize for that.
People are clicking off.
Understandable.
See you, buddy. Thank you.
Geoff, you're the very best. Buddy. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Night. Guys, the best.
That's good stuff. Hey, so real quick before we bring on the King, and we'll tell you who the King is here in a minute, guys. But Geoff made some valid points, man. He doesn't hide anything, man. If you remember earlier in the year when he got just blasted on social media, him coming on a show talking about how important it was to fill some of those holes on defense. I mean, you look at that defense. Other than the last few games, they've been playing lights out, guys, and it's been kind of fun to watch them. So. But again, very, very cool for Geoff to come on with us tonight, too. So we still have we got Rick Mason from the Bengals Trailer, good buddies of ours, coming on here in a second. We also have Scar, Raiders Nation fan coming on here a little bit, talk about the Raiders. And we're also going to be talking about where we're going to be watching the Ohio State and UC game Saturday. We do have a spot hooked up for us, a great spot we'll talk about here in a minute as well. But let's go ahead. Darren, you know what he's doing already. You've probably seen a picture of him. Hey, I warn everybody right now, the FCC has been real close to canceling our show. After we bring on Rick the King, we're gone. This is our last episode. We're going to go out in style. Bring him on, James. What's up?
Thank you very much. Glad to be here on this show.
What's up, big dog? Hey, so everybody that's watching, if you have never met Rick and the Bengals Trail, these guys are the freaking best, man. We spent a lot of time with them out of town and tailgating. Shit, James, we tailgating with them.
You know what? Speaking of that, I was sitting here tallying how many tailgates I've been with our friends at the Bengal Trailer. It's Indy, Arizona, Chicago, Detroit, Philly, Tennessee, Tampa, Charlotte, New Orleans, and Dallas.
Wow. That's a lot.
Well, I guess am I considered a groupie? Do I get that card?
Speechless there. Yeah, why not?
Okay. And Jimmy popped this up a little prematurely, but you can see here the Bengal Trailer is adorned with, and this is an old picture, Rick. This may have been from Chicago, 8 years ago, of all the stops that our good old friends at the Bengals Trailer have made along the NFL highway.
I think we're now officially up to, I'm going to get this wrong, 26, 27, 28. All we have left is the West Coast, and we're going to tick off another one this Sunday.
Yep.
Nice.
Well, we're going to talk about that here in a minute. Some other things we want to talk about, the two largest tailgates in Cincinnati book in Lot E down at Paul Brown Stadium there on Marion Way, guys. You got the trailer on the west side of Paul Brown. We're on the east side there at Paul Brown Stadium, right on Marion Way. If you're in Vegas this week, I know we have, I want to say hundreds and hundreds, Rick, that are looking for a spot to tailgate. We'll share a little bit of information, at least give them some information out here in a minute. But every tailgate in the NFL and every tailgate in Cincinnati has their unique things that they do. One of the things that the trailer is best known for, in my opinion, that I think every time I think of the trailer, I think of this right here. So, Rick, talk a little. This is some pictures I took when we were in Tampa tailgating with you. Is that whose wife is that? Is that Greg's wife? Whose is that? I can't even.
No, Molly's pouring it out. I don't know who was drinking it there.
Okay, that's my buddy Paul. And then that's my son's actually old girlfriend's sister. My bad. But anyway,
for pulling that one up.
Yeah, my bad. I just found a picture. So talk about the gas can. What the hell is in that damn thing?
Yeah, if you have to ask, you don't want to know. But if you do it, your life might change for the better.
That's right.
You become, if it's a guy, you become a ladies' man. Ladies, if you're a 10, you go to 11. It's just how it is. Oh, it's just a good time. No, the gas can originated years ago. I think we saw it in a rap video one time, and we were like, that'd be pretty cool to do. And so we just started pouring all kinds of stuff in the gas can, and all of a sudden, we did have to burn our gas can from Detroit because there was somebody with the tub gators who mouthed the gas can. And I'll just kind of leave it at that.
Yeah. I was there for that. I was there.
Yeah.
So let's continue on the gas can to the face talk. And along one of those 10 epic stops, we were in Philadelphia outside Lincoln Field, enjoying some pregame celebrations. Well, things went so well, the Bengal trailer ran out of adult beverages. So any good tailgate went to a plan B. And the only thing left on said Bengal trailer was some cheese. Hence, we were in Philadelphia with cheesesteaks as part of their menu. So once the liquor ran out and the beer ran out, we did what, Rick?
We cut open a bag of cheese. We started just taking shots of cheese to the head. What else would you do? You have to improvise. Bengals, you need to improvise in the third and fourth quarter. Let's go. We improvised by cutting open a bag of cheese. And I will tell you that trip after the cheese shots, and I won't mention names, but someone conceived a child on that night, and 9 months later, they had a baby. That's a true story.
The power of cheese
of
to
cheese
the face.
shots. That's
shots.
It's an aphrodisiac, as they say.
Yeah. In
kid
Philly,
show.
in the city of brotherly love. Where else could that happen?
Something.
Rick, tell us about this week, man. So obviously we're merging our tailgates. We're going to have just hundreds of Bengal fans tailgating together, having fun. There's our buddy John. So who's driving out? Who's flying? What's going on? How you getting the trailer out there?
So, handful of us are flying, but we've found some willful volunteers to drive the bus and the trailer 36 hours cross country. They're leaving Thursday, getting in Friday night, but they're taking the entire trailer out there. There's going to be a lot of us out there, obviously. And like I said, it wouldn't be a trailer tailgate without having the trailer there. So we are fortunate. So Troy, Adam, Justin, John, I think is going on the bus. Thank you all for driving it out. It's going to be a good time.
So I'm a little disappointed you're not driving out, Rick.
So I was going to, but then people started dropping out one by one. And so I was like, I'm booking a flight.
I don't think you have the credentials to cross the dam, do you, Rick? They'd like to cross?
I don't know. I don't know. Might be over the weight limit. You've seen some of the guys that
cheaper to fly, easier to fly.
Might be over the weight limit.
Yeah. So Rick, I know you and I have been going back and forth the last few days. I know you guys are still working on securing a place. Any updates for everybody on that?
No, we do have a spot. We don't know if it's going to be the spot, but parking and tailgating is really weird out in Vegas. And I've been talking to people all day. They don't really do the Midwest tailgate. So we've been trying to find a lot or two that can host us. And quite frankly, it's going to be a huge crowd too, right? So we need to find a lot. We do have a lot. We haven't decided if that's going to be the lot. I have a couple calls in. Hopefully there might be a couple of better options. But there will be a place to tailgate. I will tell you that. Follow Jim. Jim will be one of the first to know. We'll post it on our Facebook page the second that we actually have something locked in. We have an event out there. We'll post it all over there. So, you will definitely hear about it.
Okay. Well, Rick, so a first timer, a rookie, a virgin tailgater at the trailer. What do we got to take it easy on them, right?
No, absolutely. If it's your first tailgate at the Bengal trailer, a couple of things are going to happen. One, you're definitely taking a gas can to the face. That's without question. You're going to do that. Don't ask what's in it because we're not going to tell. And we have COVID protocols going on.
Yeah, exactly.
I just wanted to share that. And then two, we do this little thing called the tray shot. And it's safe for a lucky few. So all day long, we're handing out Bengal bombs. Bengal bombs happen to spill on the tray that we pass it out in. And one lucky fan gets to drink the entire tray of all the spilled nonsense that's all over the tray. And we may add in a few extras from the cooking surface. Yeah. If you have to ask, you don't want to know.
That's right. Well, Rick, man, we are really looking forward to it. So we'll stay in touch, and just everybody that's watching right now on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, we will get the message out where we're going to meet up with the trailer at, and we are going to have one hell of a time in Vegas, buddy. And we look forward to seeing you there, big dog.
I can't wait. And before I sign out here, Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas!
Hold on. One more thing. You're wearing that damn thing Sunday, right?
Oh, can I be honest? I've gained a little weight.
That's even better.
I just got this.
So did Elvis.
Tight.
That's even better, brother.
It's a little tight, which is why the camera is not showing. But yeah, maybe there's a chance it makes it into my luggage.
You got to do it, brother. Got to do it. All right, man, we appreciate it. Tell everybody we said, hey, big dog. We'll talk to you before Sunday. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks for having us, guys.
And Rick, next time I see you, I expect my Bengal trailer groupie card.
Deal.
10 or more.
We'll
10 or
have
more.
it printed up.
All right. Take care, buddy. See ya.
See you, buddy. Hey,
Tell you
always
what,
a good
the
time.
Bengal trailer is going to have, forget the FCC having a problem with us. The health department's going to shut that guy down.
The cheese shots.
You know, the peanut butter wings are to die for. You got to go get a peanut butter wing. What our buddy, it's Eric, right? Is it Eric the chef? Who's the Eric? Was it Eric?
Eric, for who?
No, for the Bengal trailer. Who's the gentleman that
Greg,
cooks?
Greg.
Sorry, Greg. I don't know why.
Greg,
I was thinking Eric Fisher, the tackle for the Greg.
Hey, let me just make a quick comment. Let's make a quick comment about these guys. Look, man, it's so funny. You get these hints of like competition between tailgates in different cities, right? And what's really cool, we've helped them out. They've helped us out. They go out of town. We're going to combine our tailgates. And that's how it's supposed to freaking be, man. It is city and team first, tailgate second. Let's have fun. We're all there for the same reason. And Rick and the guys, Greg and Tony and Darren and all those guys, those guys are the best, man. They're welcoming anytime. So I can't wait to spend some time with them in Vegas. Now, we spent a lot of time across the country with these guys, but never in Vegas. I'm kind of scared to hang out with Rick in Vegas, but we're going to do it.
It'll be a lot of fun. Great group of guys. And if you haven't, check out their setup. You won't be disappointed. Let's just say that.
Well, let's go ahead and move on to our next guest here. So go ahead and bring him on. We have Raiders Nation in the house with us. Car, welcome, big dog. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, man. How about you guys?
Man, awesome, dude. Thanks so much for showing up. I'm just being honest with everybody right now. Totally dropped the ball, and this was a last-minute Scar stepping in, helping us out. We appreciate you being here with us, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, so let's talk about your Raiders, buddy. Let's talk about these guys. So what's going good, what's going bad, and what do the Bengals need to do to win this game Sunday?
You don't have to answer what's going bad. We've seen what's gone bad in the last 2 weeks. You can just skip right over that. You guys have been through hell and back.
Yeah. The bad would be the TMZ headline frequency.
Yeah.
Then the good would be, you hear cliches like it's a week-to-week league, and I don't know if there's ever been a year that embodies that better than this year. You guys, you're in a very similar situation where not so much last week, so you guys were on the bye, but the week before was kind of the same thing as us this week, where it was like you got the whole world in front of you. you got a game where you can say we are established as a top AFC team, and then the team just drops the ball. It looked unprepared. I know, like, you guys' game against the Browns, I thought you guys were going to win that, and I thought it was going to be a story of same old Browns, and hey, the Bengals are here, and they're here to stay, and it was a tough game. So it's amazing because I think of, like, if there's a team in a situation, not so much by circumstance, but where they're at tonight and up until Sunday that has a doppelganger, it would be the Raiders with the Bengals or the Bengals with the Raiders, because it's still divisionally very similar spot. What's in front of them, very similar spot. Both started out just white hot, and then now it's just been a total coin flip every week. So good is that, it's a week-to-week league. So if there was ever a year where you're like, well, that was a brutal game Sunday, but any given Sunday going forward, this would probably be it. So I would say that's the good.
Let's talk about this, Scar, and changing gears a little bit about going from the outhouse to the penthouse. And this is nothing against the Oakland fans, the Oakland community, but going from the Oakland Coliseum to the state-of-the-art Death Star, whatever you call that thing in Vegas. I guess I was fortunate, unfortunate to visit what is the Oakland Coliseum, and maybe one of the worst stadiums in the NFL. And now you go to the modern day Mecca that everybody drools over when they see. All black, fits in perfect with your guys' MO. Have you had the chance to check that out, as I'm sure you have? And what can our fans expect coming to Vegas this weekend?
I personally have not. I switched and went the other way, where I used to have season tickets, and it was like I might have money for one road game set aside. I'll do that, and I'll hit every home game. Where now I've switched and gone the other way, where it's like road games first. Though a lot of my friends have had season tickets, and they've said, obviously a lot more welcoming to opposing teams fans. A lot nicer, more of a entertainment experience. You get stadiums like the Coliseum. I'd heard Qualcomm was very much this way. Tennessee's this way, where it's, you're here for a football game. And if you're here for anything else, you're going to leave really disappointed. But Vegas itself, huge entertainment center. And I think from what I've heard from lifelong season ticket holders in Oakland, to people who've done Oakland and LA, to people who've never gone to a game, everybody kind of says it's very much an entertainment first, football second kind of atmosphere. So it depends on the person. I'm very much a just football first. I love the gritty spots. I really liked Tennessee. It was one of my favorite road venues. Tampa's up there, because I'm trying to eliminate the bias. It's easy. Coliseum's my favorite because it's easy to say that, but road venues, the ones that are just, they scream, we're here for football and that's it. Those are my favorites. So it's very much the opposite of that, but I have heard it's a great time.
Question for you. We see the diehard Oakland fans, and my one opportunity I had to visit Oakland, I should say Raiders fans, everybody was super pleasant. They look scary. They look mean. They look like they just left a Kiss concert, but super, super friendly, super great fans, and accommodating. You want to touch on the fan base as a whole?
See, it was the best part about Oakland was it was the league's best kept secret. And, you don't have to share your clubhouse with the kids down the block if you just make them believe that you would never want to go there. So that was the best part, was I would have people who are lifelong Chiefs fans or Bronco fans go there and just have a hard time sleeping for weeks leading up to it. And then they go and they just would leave with this idea like, why did I not go 10 times? So same thing there. Like, if you're a football fan, at the very least, you can hate the team, You can hate everything about it, but it's one of those where it's like, you know what? I can respect how they do it there. So that was something that, the NFL, they've been able to buy a lot. They've never been able to buy those fan bases that'll just show up, rain, shine, doesn't matter, 10-0, 0-10. They're going to be there either way. And that was something special about that, it's just, you only find it in a handful of cities, because you start watching games post Thanksgiving and you see teams with like 2-3 wins, and you almost don't even have to know the team's record. You can tell by the attendance. And obviously, it's a lot easier to sit through, 1-9 team in a dome than it is outdoors, as you guys would know, in the snow or something like that. But, you see like certain fan bases just don't waver. And that was always the fun part about Raider games was, didn't matter if they were good or bad. It was going to be a great turnout. It was going to be a great time. And I'll always miss that. But it's been fun getting around to different stadiums too, and seeing just the differences, for better or worse, and seeing how everyone else does it.
Yeah. Tom?
You guys have certainly had more than your fair share of distractions this year. We've endured periods of time like that too. Seems like for whatever reason this year in the NFL, a team that you think is going to, have a miserable week because of their off the field distractions or whatever seems to come through. You guys are still in the thick of it. You're playing well. How much of a tribute is that to your quarterback, David Carr?
It's got to be because he's been here through a lot. And over the last 3-4 years, if you look at the opening day lineups, there's been a lot of change. It's been, it's been Carr, the kicker, the long snapper, the punter, and everyone else has just been in and out. And, any given week, they're working out 3 different defensive backs, 3 different wide receivers. It's just constant with the waiver wire. But you always hear players speak highly of him, and we've seen players leave on good terms and bad terms, and nobody's ever had a bad word to say about him. They might have had a falling out with coaching staff or ownership. Head case we can all think of and agree on is Antonio Brown. His whole saga was on display for the whole world. HBO covered every second of it, and you notice, he had something bad to say about just about everybody in the building except Carr. So you believe that he's got something to do with keeping the team, focused. They won a big one against Philly the week after the Gruden saga, but you really believe like he will be the one that either turns it around or he's going to be stuck with the blame if it doesn't.
Right. Well, brother, hey man, it means a lot you coming on. It's a really we love to get the feedback from opposing fans. All of our viewers love hearing this stuff, but it means a lot you spending some time with us, man. And brother, I hope you guys go undefeated the rest of the year after this Sunday, man. Okay, so we appreciate having you on, man. It means a lot coming on with us last minute. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. It was an honor.
We appreciate it, buddy. We'll see you. Thanks again, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Take care,
Thank you.
See you, buddy.
You think everybody's waiting?
Stuff.
You think everybody's waiting for your fantasy football report, Jimmy, or they know?
No, we're skipping the damn fantasy football report.
All right. You know what? We have a question up here. Where's Jamie? And then we have a Jamie sighting as he pipes in. It's like it's weekly. It's like, where in the world is Jamie?
Where's Waldo? It's where's Jamie? Is he at the hockey game again, or?
I don't know. Where is that?
He had a business meeting tonight that he could not get out of, and he was not happy about it, but he's being responsible as a business owner, and was taking a business meeting tonight, and he was going to try to make it. I guess that might be the extent of it. So we lost Jamie. We've got Josh is, I believe, off the COVID list, but still working his way back. And
yep.
The 3 of us, we got it.
Yeah,
it's hard to believe anything would pay more than this gig, but apparently there's other things out there.
And not just the pay, James, the perks,
Yeah.
cookies from the cookie girl. And
here's a question. A couple people asking: did we get the Bengal cart back into PBS? Okay, we did, right?
Yeah, actually, Herm, the AV intern, did come over towards the end of the tailgate last home game and walked him back across to Paul Brown Stadium. So he did make it back safe. He will be making another appearance next home game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, by the way, guys. He will be there.
I think those shots tasted even better once he delivered them.
Yeah, they were special. I like the absolutely. So the he will be back. He will be back for the Steelers game. I promise you. So, guys, a couple things we got to hit on. I told everybody, you know what? Go ahead, talk. Go ahead. AJ's already got it going. James, go ahead and talk about it.
I just threw it up there. You can keep going.
Am I officially eliminated from the playoffs?
I think I beat AJ this week, so he has no room to talk.
Yeah. Well, AJ, get that off the screen. Okay.
Bengals, Zach. Unfortunately, the Bengals cart does not. I don't know. He's not going to be.
He might, man. He could probably has a first-class seat somewhere on Delta direct flight. There's a possibility. Possibility.
He has said he stays, I think, in a closet on away games.
Yeah.
Oh,
dark.
Craig,
closet.
I finished him off. You could look at Craig talking. Beer Fest Craig on here talking smack.
Well, let's talk about. I know we're getting just deluged. Where are we tailgating at? And you just heard Rick from the trailer. We are combining our tailgates. We're real close to firming up a location in Vegas. I know we have one already locked up. We're trying to get one a little bit closer. At the end of the day, but everybody's asking where are we watching the Ohio State game at, and where are we watching the UC Bearcats play Saturday, which will be 9 a.m. For the OSU game, and I think noon in Vegas for the Bearcats game. So, got a couple things here, guys. We do have a spot locked up. Our gambling addicts, Craig Johnson and Caleb, found a location for us. So we will be spending our day Saturday. Watching the Bearcats and the Buckeyes play. 9 a.m. Is the Buckeyes game, and noon is the UC game. It is the Sporting Life Bar right off the strip. The address, there's a couple different locations, so we got to be very specific. The address that Caleb and Craig found for us, the Sporting Life Bar, 4570 West Sahara, Las Vegas, Nevada. You see the address. So we will be sharing this on social media. We expect a very large crowd. I know Jim from the Holy Grail was checking in on us to see where we're going to be getting together to watch the games at. And we've got a bunch of fans that want to get together and have some beers and maybe a brunch and a lunch and have some beers and watch the Bearcats and the Buckeyes play, guys. So we'll post that on social media, but it's all coming together. So we got the place to watch the game Saturday, and we've got this close to firming up a tailgate location, guys. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
You're going to have to keep the boys in line. Tom will be back here. I'll be sunny south. So it's up to you, Jimmy, to bring us back a win.
I tell you guys, this is every week I keep saying it's the biggest game of the year. I'm telling you, this is a massive game, guys. We can't come off. This is a bye week. We're coming off a bye week. We had time to figure things out and maybe fix some things. This game is massive, guys. It is a critical part to start the second half of the season for us.
4 minutes. Look at all these things. Craig, 4-minute taxi from Bellagio. All right.
And I did time the walk. It is 15 minutes exactly, a 15-minute walk. So I'm good walking. I don't need to spend money on an Uber. Got my walking shoes. I'm ready to start kicking it Saturday morning and ready to go. So they do have – I think I had another picture because I was messing with Brandon. Here's another picture. So they have darts and pool tables and tons of TVs
and lots of Miller Lite, Brandon. Lots of Miller Lite.
Well, guys, let's go ahead and close this out here today. Tom, you'll go and close it and get us started.
Yeah, big thanks to Geoff Hobson. His time is very precious. Just even coming off of a bye week, and like you said, very big game. These next two games. The Bengals really have to get after it. And a lot of people said the bye week, entering with those two losses was a bad thing. I think it was a great thing. It gave them a chance to reboot, fix some things, adjust, and get in there. So a lot of pressure on the coaching staff. But I think we're basically going in there healthy. Hopefully have a few new wrinkles for the Raiders, and Jimmy gets to fly home very happy with a win.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Let's get back on track this week, and then as I was looking at the schedule for the upcoming month, 3 home games in a row. So that's going to be a huge stretch for us. I think all 3 of them against AFC teams. So we got a big stretch coming up. Hopefully the guys rested up, healed up, looked in that playbook some for the second half, and really excited. Thank you to Rick from the Bengal Trailer for joining us, Geoff for joining us. Again, we mentioned this a couple of shows ago. If you have a restaurant, a food truck, want to get involved in the tailgate, we do have some openings for the second half of the year. Send us a message. We'll make room, get you involved. And Jimmy, it's up to you. Go to Sin City, have fun, bring us back a win.
Let's do it. Give an update, everybody. After we did the fundraiser, the last fundraiser, we did the $1,000. We did the fundraiser at the tailgate where we raised $1,000 for Homes for Our Troops. And then we, what was the other charity, James? It's slipping my head. The one that we raised, Tony did.
St. Vincent de Paul.
St. Vincent de Paul. So just to let you guys know where you're at year to date, this is just, to me, this just blows me away, guys. The last couple charities added in here now, you are at over $33,000 in dollars raised for local charities. And that just blows me away, guys. So we have some things in the work. Tony, myself, James, and the guys, we've got some things in the works for the next home game. We got some things we're talking about here. So just stay tuned for all that. I want to thank Geoff Hobson and Rick Mason and Scar for coming on. It means a lot. Appreciate you guys taking time out of your Tuesday evening to hang with us and talk some Bengals football. We hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed having you with us. And hey, here's to next Tuesday, guys, a 6-4 Cincinnati Bengals team. We got to do it this weekend. I don't care how we win this damn thing. I don't care how we win it. We got to come out of there with a dub. I don't care if it's 2-0. I don't care what the score is. We got to have that W, guys. So we will see you guys next Tuesday. Stay tuned on our social media platforms. We will make the announcement about where the tailgate's going to be. And if you're going to Vegas, we'll make sure we hook up and have some beers with you in Vegas. Until next Tuesday, guys. Hoo day. We'll see you.